What happens when the hunter becomes the hunted? Welcome to the Film Threat Podcast. I am Chris Gore. I am pleased to have on today the director of The Silencing, Robin Pront. Thank you for joining us all the way from Belgium.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for having me.
And you were asking earlier, yes, we do allow vaping on the show. Whatever you want, actually. I would have a drink if it wasn't so early here. But let's talk about this your film, The Silencing. Absolutely beautiful. Stars one of my favorite actors from Game of Thrones. The actor who plays Jaime Lannister. Why am I spacing on his name right now? Because I always think of him as Jaime Lannister.
It's Nikolaj Coster-Waldau.
You know what? You said it so beautifully. But this film is an action thriller like I have not seen in some time, and the way that you portray hunting in the film. Hunting is a big part of the film.
Yeah.
The protagonist is a hunter, a responsible hunter.
Yeah.
And has suffered a great loss. I don't want to give too much away about the film. I just think people should go check out the trailer for The Silencing or go get it on VOD, however you see your films these days. But I'm curious, there was such a realism to the way that hunting was portrayed in the film, both with bow and arrows and whatnot. Are you a hunter yourself, or where did you go to research? Because clearly there's a lot, you have some inside knowledge.
Well, I have to give credit to the writer. He's from Minnesota, and I think he has some hunting background that he implemented into the script. So a lot of it was already there. And of course I did some research, and for my previous film, The Ardennes, we needed some, there was coincidentally also, it had something to do with hunters, and they went out and hunted boar. But yeah, it was a little bit too gruesome for me. It's really visceral, like we get our meats and everything from the supermarket, but when you see it happen, it's tough. It's good for me to know how tough it is, but seeing like a boar being slaughtered and some dogs go hunt the boar and they start just eating its guts away. It's really brutal. So yeah, I know a little bit about it, and I did some research, of course, because we have a particular kind of weapon in the film called an atlatl, which is an ancient hunting weapon. So I did some research, but I don't think I'm hypocritical. I don't think I have it in me to shoot an animal, unfortunately, because I do eat meat. So.
Well, I eat meat as well. But you could have fooled me. It's I guess it's a testament to your storytelling ability and the solid script. I mean, there are things I like when there's something I don't know a lot about that's in a movie that portrays it in a way where I feel like I'm learning something about it. There's also I don't want to give too much away about the story because there are a lot of layers to this, but where did you shoot? It's absolutely also stunning and beautiful. The location is like a character in the movie.
Yeah, we shot the movie up in Ontario, Canada, up in a town called Sudbury, which it's like an old mining town, and it's a little bit decayed. I don't want to insult anybody, but it has a kind of atmosphere when you walk around in the town. And immediately when I saw it, I knew it was perfect for the film. And then of course around the town, there's a lot of nature spread out, and I saw a lot of I did a lot of hiking and all that stuff. Yeah, it's because I'm from Belgium, which is a country you can drive to in 2 hours. In Canada, you can go get a coffee if you drive for 2 hours. So I had to adapt.
Well, it's the like I say, the location kind of feels like a character. Did you cast locally? How did you pull together this amazing cast?
Yeah, so the cast, of course we have the actors with Nikolaj and Annabelle, and then for all the other smaller parts I casted in Ontario, and then some parts in Sudbury, like up north. So yeah, it's very important for me to get the right faces in the movie to really create that atmosphere. Yeah. there's a lot of the day players in North America are so great. You know, it's hard to come by here in Europe. You know, but here the level of the actors, even with the day players, is really great.
And Nikolaj is really this grounding force. I mean, you see like his, you see the pain that he's dealing with in addition to trying to, uncover the layers within this story. It's difficult for me to talk about a thriller from the standpoint of I don't want to ruin anything about the movie.
Yeah.
That's so I find it like difficult to talk about the story aspects, because that's the whole point is you want to find out what happened, right?
Yeah.
And in particular this thriller, there's I do want to talk about the end without giving too much away. There's an amazing thing you did after the credits, and that I thought was haunting. It was, I think you know what I'm talking about, right?
You have to remind me a little bit, you know.
Oh no! How long ago did you make this movie?
No, when the credits roll?
After the credits, there's a little tag at the end that shows the beauty of nature, and you're seeing what's happening. You see a body. And it's
I'm sorry. I thought the end credits, you know. Yeah.
Right. It's I mean, look, I watched the screener all the way to the end, and I like to look at the credits.
Yeah.
I just thought it just left this sort of pit in my gut where, oh wow, like it. Can you talk about that? Like, first of all, I don't even know how you shot it. So that particular scene with this body going down this river.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was a location that we saw. You know, and I was just driving around in the city, and then I saw this beautiful river, and then I immediately knew, like, wow, I have to use this location. And so then I just said, all right. And then I called the screenwriter, say, yeah, I really want to do this and that, and he was very much open to changing it. So then, we just started. Then I knew I had to drag the body all across the water, and we didn't use CGI. So that's when, then I had to convince everybody that it was safe to go down a waterfall, and it was a really hectic day. And we had like three takes of bringing the body down to the river. It was a crazy day.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was like, I'm looking at this going, how did you do this without CGI? Did you use drones, or how did you get?
Yeah. So we used the drone, and then we were able to tie the body to some kind of leash, and then we let it go, and then we had somebody at the end of the river take its body and then bring it back all the way up to the river again. But what you don't see right now, it looks like it's the complete wild, but it's very close to a road, and there was all kinds of access points and all that stuff, so it was actually pretty manageable.
Well, let's talk about the tone of the film. The tone of a good thriller is just something that keeps you riveted to the screen. And that's certainly the case with the silencing. Sound design is a big part of that. Can you talk about the sound design and the way that you utilized music?
Yeah, definitely tone is very important. You know, like as a director, you're always the guardian of the tone. And when, we had the movie, but it was like I was so lucky to work with the composers that I was able to work with. You know, these guys were so great and so cooperative, and they created this great team in the movie that comes back, and that's really haunting. Exactly what I was looking for. But I'm an idiot, you know, so I was kind of humming something. But like, if I'm at a karaoke bar, please drag me off the stage. Like these guys, they were so good at like creating the haunting atmosphere, you know, because we had this is my cat. Wait, I'll have to take her off.
That's all right. Just, this would not be the first cat on the Film Threat podcast. That's great.
Yeah, she always wants to get near me.
No, that's cool.
So, and let's say with the villain in the movie, you know, like he wears a particular kind of suit in the movie, which works really well. But sometimes, you know, it just needed that little bit of extra score to make it really hunting, and sometimes, on the verge of looking silly, but when you put these guys' music under there, it become like really scary. So I have to applaud them. They did such a wonderful job. And also the guys from the sound design, the way they used the sound of the wind and the forest and all the little branches like crackling and all that stuff. They've done an amazing job. It's just, that's the thing about making a film. It's a very collaborative effort. It's all these people who are top level at their job, and they, I'm here sitting talking to you how great it sounds, but I have to give credit to them. I give little tips and tricks, but they give their all in it. So they did a great job.
I need to ask about working with Nikolaj. I'm such a fan of Game of Thrones. I'm sure you might have seen an episode or two. Yeah. What's he like to work with? I've never really heard much about what he's like as an actor. But what's he like? And I'm sure if you hit bars, I'm sure he gets recognized constantly. So I don't know if that's a distraction or not.
Yeah, like we met on like this, on Skype, where we talked through the computer. But then when I first met him, we had conversations about the character and where it should be going. He was very, it's conversations. Sometimes it's discussions, but he really knows what he wants, and I know what I want. And it's a process that you go through. But he's an extremely smart guy. He's very experienced. He's done so much. He did so much before Game of Thrones and after. So he doesn't he challenges you as a director. He's not somebody that says, if I say, yeah, okay, you just walk through that door, and then you say you do this, and say, why am I walking through that door? And I say, oh yeah, okay, you walk through that door because the camera's over here. And it's like, yeah, but it doesn't make sense if I walk through that door. And I say, okay, maybe you're right. But then we have a conversation. So it's always an ongoing he's very much always thinking about where his character is going, and it's just a very, it's like going to film school again. He's so experienced as well. When you're doing action scenes with him, he's done so many. So it's like I'm going to film school, because he knows he's so experienced, which was great. And I think he might have learned a thing or two from me as well, hopefully. So I remember when we were sitting in Sudbury, it was a big thing when he was there. They put up this big sign on the road in Sudbury where we were shooting, "Welcome Kingslayer in the true North."
Oh my God, that's great. I don't know. I just loved, he's one of the most popular characters of that show. Yeah. And his journey, the pain that he went through, and it's a completely different kind of pain in this film. And it just, he's really fantastic. It's really cool to see him also in just something completely different as a lead.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It was great. He can be funny, he can be menacing, all that. He can switch gears all the time. It's great working with an actor like that. It's driving a Ferrari. It's just like get the keys and then wham. Yeah, it's just a gift to work with somebody like him.
Well, Robin Pront, thank you for talking to us all the way from Belgium about your film, The Silencing. It's a fantastic thriller, and you should check it out. I also want to thank our sponsor, Storyblocks. If you go to storyblocks.com/filmthreat, it's all sorts of tools for filmmakers. You can get drone footage over parks and cities, and it's really an amazing tool to up the budget of your film. Robin, thank you so much for talking to us on the Film Threat podcast. It's a pleasure, and congratulations on the film.
Thank you so much. Okay.